Hello, this is I don't know what I'm talking about podcast, and today doing a podcast that's a reaction to the Fever and Sun game, and I just watched it. It just finished up. It's July 15th, 2025. The Fever pulled it out, and I'm gonna talk about that. And also, Caitlin Clark seemed like she might have gotten hurt. Hopefully, she's okay. She didn't go get medical attention after the game, but that would probably be, the big story after the game. But I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about LeBron and if he'll be back at the Lakers and all that kind of stuff. And Karim Lopez and Nolan Smith getting a new job at Tennessee. So, first with the Fever game. Connecticut's Sun kept up to some extent. Indiana really had full control of the game, and they pulled away late at the end. But Connecticut kept it close, especially around the fourth quarter. It was still close, and then Indiana had to pull away. Caitlin Clark had some good plays towards the end. And I thought she played really well. I did a podcast of their first game versus the Sky and said she wasn't getting to the basket enough. I thought she got to the basket a lot better today. She's just not shooting the ball well, and maybe that's dealing with her injuries. And now it looks like she might just be hurt again. Hopefully it's nothing that'll keep her out for another game, but you got the All-Star break coming up, so if she'll have to, she can rest that game. I thought Kelsey Mitchell looked really good. She got to the basket better than I've seen before. Seems like she's really improved. I think if she has to get into crossovers and behind the backs and, trying to draw the defender one way and then go the other way, she can do that, but she's not as good as that as some of the other players. But if you get her in a straight downhill, I don't think there's too many people better at that in the WNBA than her. She's tough. She can really shoot. And it felt like she didn't shoot the ball as well as she normally does today, and she still went 8 for 13, 4 for 5 from the line. She went 0 for 3 for 3, so maybe that's why it feels like that, but she had a great game. Caitlin Clark had 14 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. I think the team overall played really good defense. They've gotten. I don't remember them playing that great defense the first game. I don't remember being bad. I just don't remember being that good. They were pressuring the ball really well. They had, some lapses, especially on the pick and roll and stuff like that, but they look like a good defensive team. And Aaliyah Boston played nice. So Sophie Cunningham played nice. 2 for 3 from 3. I think McDonald did well helping with the point guard duties. They said that Caitlin Clark, she gets a lot of physical plays, so they want to get her off the ball some, which I think is smart, and hopefully she'll start hitting those deep threes, because I don't know, she might have to stop taking them if she hasn't hit them. I think they said she was 1 of 26 on the road from 3 before tonight, and 1 of 7 tonight. I think she should still take them, but it can come to a point where she needs to stop if she's not hitting them, but she definitely needs to take the regular threes, whether she's hitting them or not. But the deep threes, You never know. I don't know. It might get to the point where it's like this isn't helping. But yeah, I thought they played a decent game. I think Connecticut's below their level, and they kind of played down to their level. I thought Natasha Howard played good. She went 8 for 11 from the field, 18 points, 13 rebounds. She's not. I mean, she was just in the right places at the right time. Aaliyah Boston was getting the ball to her, and other people. Caitlin Clark probably saw him. Caitlin Clark had some great passes. To me, she's the best passer I've seen in the WNBA. And yeah, they look pretty good. They look like they played down to their level, and hopefully Caitlin Clark's okay with her injury, because that obviously she's their best player, so that would hurt them if she's gone. But overall, good game for them. I didn't think Connecticut played bad. Honestly, they just don't have a lot. They rely so much on Sanaya Rivers and Tina Charles, and Tina Charles played great. I mean, I don't know how old Tina Charles is, but she's 36, and she's doing great for her age. She's really their best offensive option. And she had 21 points, 11 rebounds. Olivia Nelson-Ododa played great. Defensively, she was stealing the ball from Caitlin Clark, or at least getting deflections, and she had a lot of ball pressure on the guards, forcing turnovers, and she's physical. It might not, stat sheet 6 points, 5 rebounds, but you watch the game, and she has a huge impact on the game. And I wonder if they should use her more offensively sometime, because she posts up physically. And I think she can get her shot off, for layups or close little post hooks, and I think she's a really good player. Sanaya Rivers had a good game. 8 points, 5 rebounds. They rely on her and Tina Charles, and that's mainly their offense. So, they're just in a tough position. They'll probably get a high draft pick this year, and maybe they can bring in some talent through the draft and maybe through free agency, but they got a long way to go. JC Sheldon is a rookie, and she doesn't look like a bad player. She looks like a supporting piece, but they just need people that can get their own shot off, or their offensive system has to get better so that they can get better shots off. And they have to up it defensively too. They're fine defensively, they're fine offensively, but they gotta up something. They gotta up their talent, they gotta up their offensive system, their defensive system, because they're just not at a high level enough to win. So I think they're giving effort. I think the players have to improve. Something's gotta change for them to be a winning team. And this probably isn't the year. I don't know how many games they play in the WNBA. So I don't know if it's even possible for them to do anything. I think they did increase, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, but I think they increased the number of games they play this year. They have 44 games by my count, maybe, and I could have counted wrong right there, but maybe they didn't increase them. I don't know, but yeah, 44 games, they've already played 22. I guess if they go 25-19, they could make the playoffs, but that's probably unexpected, so they're probably not making it this year. But it's nice. I didn't get to really see Tina Charles in her prime, but I get to see her now, and she's still a player that can put up 21 and 11 and lead a team in the WNBA. She's the player that they give the ball to, and they tell, she's the main part of their offense, and she does a good job. She was 7 and 19 for the field, but she was 7 and 9 for the free throw line. So she still is is a good player. Still can get her shot off. So yeah, it was a pretty good game overall. I mean, it was competitive. I think Indiana Fever played down to the level of the Connecticut Sun a little bit, and there was a little tension between the two teams. It seemed like, well, yeah, there was some against between the two teams. Honestly, it seemed more against the refs. Was the refs take a, they take a beating from the players verbally every game, but you know, but it was a good game. It was competitive, and I've seen the Connecticut Sun, despite their record, the past two games I've seen them play the Fever and the Storm close, who are two good teams. So they're competitive in this league, and that's good. That I'm sure that's how the WNBA. I've only followed it for 2 years, but I'm sure that's how the WNBA's been during their whole existence since a professional league, and I'm sure all the teams that can compete. So that's good. It was a good game. Look forward to watching both these teams in the future. Second topic is LeBron. So LeBron came out with that letter. Not LeBron, but Rich Paul said something about basically they know the Lakers are on a timeline to build young, but he wants to make sure he's on a team that can win it all. Summarizing, and there's been a lot of talk in the media about how Luka, they're on Luka's timeline, not LeBron, and I know Windhorst said they view LeBron as an expiring contract. So I don't know. To me, I just wish sometimes there would be a year where LeBron would just play, and it wouldn't be about, we have to do this with the team, we have to do this with the team, this needs to change. Like, I just wish, it just seems like every single year they need this, they need that, they need this, they need that, they want this guy to change, they want this coach to change, and maybe some of that's media made up. I don't know. I mean, he's just had so many coaches filter in and out. And it seems like, he's been unhappy with them. I felt like you could get those vibes on the Lakers last year. Or not last year, 2 years ago. With Darvin Ham and, David Blatt. I think LeBron probably had to say so with that. Eric Spoelstra, you hear the story of him and Dwayne Wade going to Pat Riley and say we need a new coach. And I don't know. It's just, I know he makes millions of dollars and the coaches don't, and he makes more than the other players. He's one of the greatest players of all time. But I just wish sometimes you just go out and play. I mean, they were a 3 seed last year. So I think they have enough where you shouldn't be complaining about it. Now, do I think they're a contender? I don't know. I probably wouldn't say that at this point. I haven't really thought about it, but I just wish, the teams would the players would just try to individually just get better and help the team that way instead of, trying to be the GM, which LeBron does more than anybody. And there's more media stuff with LeBron than anybody. And LeBron's great. He's a great player. He's still a great player right now. He's better than so many of the stars. And he's playing at such a great level, and him and Luka, they make a great duo. And I mean, there is problems with Luka's game, and I don't know if that's why LeBron's mad that Luka's not a great defender, but I don't know. I mean, there's just so many problems with changing the team and changing the coach. So many times you don't build anything together. you don't, players don't get used to each other. They gotta change systems all the time. They gotta change players all the time. They can't ever, and I know some of that's just the NBA. That's how the NBA works, but with LeBron, it's just everybody has a shorter leash than everybody. So, I don't know. I know Nick Wright, he backs LeBron, and he said, they, this is good because there's really not anything going on in the summer, and he doesn't think LeBron's upset about Luka playing, Luka being the head of the franchise now. And that could be true because I watched the Lakers last year, and Luka was definitely the head of the snake. He was the head of the franchise. Everything went through him. LeBron was in the corner more than he was on the ball a lot of the time. So he definitely let Luka lead. And and Nick Wright was saying, is it really smart to plan for, next year's off season, which it looks like the Lakers want to do with cap room, and give up one of the, top 10 players in the league, which he probably is. And he has a fair point there, because, I don't know in some sense why you wouldn't ride it out with LeBron and Luka and try to win and try to keep LeBron happy in that sense. So, I see his points. They're fair points. But I just wonder, maybe the Lakers are tired of having someone control their whole roster, and maybe they want to be able to do something now. And they got Luka, and they just want to move forward to that, and they appreciate LeBron. But maybe they feel like he's in the way with the controlling the roster thing, controlling the coaches thing. I don't know, and I don't know if Luka or if LeBron doesn't like being, or if LeBron's mad that he's not the head anymore. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's cool with it, because Nick Wright's right. On the court, he let Luka have it. Luka was the head, and he was cool with that. So, but I don't know. I just wonder, because, he wants to be the greatest of all time. He keeps saying he's the greatest of all time, and he's been the head of every single team he's been on, and is this hard for him to not be the head? And even though publicly he's supportive of Luka being the head, is that maybe one of the reasons why he wants to go? Does he want to win another championship as the head somewhere? Because he still, he believes he's the greatest all time, but maybe he needs to make sure of it in his head with, 6 or 7 championships. I don't know. So I don't know. It's just hard to figure out what's going on. There's so much speculation. So that's the hard thing about talking about stuff like this. But I just wish, there was nothing about him leaving, and you could just go into the season, and they should, I don't know if I'm higher on them exceeding wise, maybe than other people, but, I think the Lakers, they have a good team. And, I haven't seen DeAndre Ayton play recently, but Vanderbilt and Luka and LeBron and Hachimura and Reeves, they got some solid players around Luka and LeBron. And especially the fact that they have those two, I think that helps them. So I think they, and they got one season under their belt, or half a season. After Luka and Kyrie had that half a season that didn't go well, they come out the next year, they go to the NBA Finals. So, there's stuff to look forward to. And it's just stuff like this that I feel like doesn't help, And it might hurt the organization, and maybe that's what the organization doesn't like anymore either. And, I just wish he would just go out and play sometimes. I know he's won 4 championships doing this. Controlling the roster, controlling the coach, putting pressure on the organization, trade deadline, wearing Knicks hats not Knicks towels, and posting hourglasses on Twitter. But I just don't know if it helps the team past a certain point, because you have so much turnover. People don't get to be together for a long time, and then it's just a constant stuff where you just can't focus when they have a good team, and they should just be trying to push forward to next season. Because I don't think Luka, or really, I don't think any player is like this to the extent of LeBron with the media and the organization. Now, I'm not saying players don't put pressure on organizations. They do. But I don't know if anybody does it to the extent of LeBron. So, I don't know. I hope he stays. I hope he plays. And I hope it's just he's wanting to put pressure on the organization, and that's all it is. But, we'll see. We'll see. All right, next topic, Karim Lopez. So, I've heard a lot of people like Karim Lopez next year in the draft. I've heard it. I watch a lot of Six Rings of Steel 2K rebuilds, and he likes him in the draft next year, and I think I've heard it from other places too. But I watched him today, and I didn't realize I'd watched him earlier. I think to watch Ben Henshaw for last draft. And I remembered him some when I saw him today. And he's solid. And he played last year. He was really it was really like his last year of high school, I guess. He was 17, so he wasn't even eligible for the NBA draft, and he was already playing in the NBL, and he's playing at a high level over there. He was a starter, and he's a good player. He gets to the basket. He's a good passer. He has size, and he plays hard. And I think I wanted to rank him last year, but he wasn't eligible, so I couldn't. But I think he's a good player. I don't know if he's a top player in the draft, though. I think there are players that are just better on the ball, or just better players. Just people that get to the basket better than him is the main thing. I think he has to get to the basket a little more, but he's athletic. He's fast, just a straight run without the ball. I think, if you were going to play him at the 4 spot, which I wouldn't, I don't think they did. Maybe they did play him at the 4. But I don't think they did. But, if you were going to play him at the 4, I think there were people more physical than him. Probably some better shooters. Although I don't think I saw him make a 3, but his shot looked fine. All you got to do with that is work on it. But, I think Karim Lopez is a good player, but maybe there's a little too much hype since he succeeded in the NBL at such a young age. And I know they like young players in the draft, and they like to work with him at 18 as opposed to 22 or whatever, and maybe that's some of the draw towards him. But I think he's a good player. He's a top player. Well, he should definitely get drafted next year. I haven't looked at all the draft prospects right now. Out of the people I've looked at, I would say he's a first-round talent, but I haven't looked at everybody yet. But I don't know if he's this top 5 talent that people are acting like he is. But he could improve a lot next year. I know last year people were saying Colin Murray-Boyles was like a late first-round pick or second-round pick, and I was like, this was going into not last draft, but the draft before. And I was like, I don't know. To me, all he does is he's physical in the offensive rebounds, which that's good. But then this last year, where Colin Murray-Boyles came to South Carolina, his on-ball defense improved so much. His ability to get his own shot in the post improved so much. His ball handling improved so much. And it's like, this year, I think I ranked him 15 or something like that. When the year before, I probably would have ranked him in the 60s or 50s or something like that. So, Lopez can get a lot better, but from what he put on tape last year, I don't know if he's an elite prospect. Well, elite, top 5 or whatever. But, we'll see. Hopefully he gets a lot better this year. I think he's doing a good thing by playing in the NBL. Because, it's a good league, high competition. So, the last topic I don't even know if I said the topics at the beginning. I think I did. But the last topic is there's been reports that Nolan Smith has become the head coach at Tennessee State. And I think it's a good hire. He's had experience with Penny Hardaway and Mike Krzyzewski, and probably you would think he would probably take more from Mike Krzyzewski, and that probably means he's going to have his pressure defense. He's going to have a good, solid offense with probably a lot of screens, and I'm sure that'll all be modernized. And he'll take some of the stuff he's learned from Penny Hardaway at the NBA and all that stuff. I think he was a great player in college, and he's been under some great coaches, and I think he can really help Tennessee State. With Tennessee State, I haven't looked at their conference, but just from looking at them, they're probably not going to be a team that wins their conference tournament. But I think he'll get them better from what they were last year. I think he'll be a better coach than the coaching they had last year. So they got some talent. They got some forwards that can play. Aaron Nkuruma, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He's a solid 6'6" guard. He can play. Damon Howard Jr., freshman from Pike. He's solid. He can play. I think Carlos Williams is their best player. He's a 3/4, can get to the basket. He can dribble. He's a strong guy. Probably their best player. Antoine Lorick didn't get a ton of playing time last year. He's a long forward, small forward, 3/4. He'll shoot the ball. He can handle it a little bit. So they got some talent. And I just, the main thing out of coaching is, what can he get out of them? And I think he can get out of them more than what the last coach did. And he can get out of them, a lot better than most coaches. I think he'll be a good coach. I think it's a good hire. And, they have youth. And, maybe they can do some things in the Ohio Valley Conference. So that's it. That's about all for my podcast. I don't know when I'll put another one up, but I'm trying to get more out, trying to get more videos up, and hopefully more people watch. Alright, well, have a good one.